Testing, 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 testing. I was muted. Hi guys. Welcome. Um, I'm on this channel. Let me make sure you guys can hear me loud and clear. Yeah. All right. So usually the judge does the X space, but because this is State of the Union, I wanted to stream it live on this channel. But I am live on X. The judge said he is going to come on and join tonight so we could watch the State of the Union together with you guys. And let's share this screen here and see where it's at. Uh, okay. What does that look like? Let's see what this looks like. I want to go to the White House, see if the White House is live. So it's supposed to start at 9, but the State of the Union is starting at 9. So I kind of just want to start it early there so that you guys can come on in. Let's see. I think that's better. Uh, no, not like this. Yeah, like more like that. Let's see. What does this, how this look? No, maybe. I guess like that. Or maybe like this. No. Okay. How does it look here? Okay. Actually, I kind of like this. I kind of like it this way. Oh, okay. So they're just playing. This is the White House. I'm gonna be streaming it from the White House at the White House on YouTube. That's when I'm gonna be streaming it from. And I'm gonna keep it at this angle. So yeah. Mm, so everything's supposed to start at 9. We have a lot of haters who don't want to participate in the this is funny. Let me share this. So the NAACP declares Black America under attack in Trump's second term. Are you serious? People are so dumb. Let's see if the judge is coming in. They're just creating these fake false narratives. Urge Spanish language push. So Mendandi and AOC urge Spanish language push for NYC free pre-K enrollment. What? Oh, this is crazy. Let's see here. I thought I saved Maxine Waters' stupid response. Maxine Waters. I wanted to play that before we start the State of the Union. I guess no. It was a video clip of her saying that she's not going to come, but nobody cares if she doesn't show up. Like why do Democrats think people care about what they say or do? Let's see, what is he doing? Uh I don't know. Let's see. What is this here? Forbes breaking news. Oh, this is what they're doing. They have the People's State of the Union county event held by progressive Democrats on the National Mall. Like, really?
In November of 2025, I was placed on administrative leave from the job that I loved at the National Institutes of Health because I blew the whistle on the wrongdoing that I saw there.
So these are progressive Democrats complaining about Trump and the Trump administration. Boo hoo. Let's see. Oh, so what is okay? This celebrities and Democrat politicians hold State of the Swamp event. Are you serious?
So the SAVE Act does not matter. They are trying to take away everything that we stand for with our elections. So it's going to take all of us to organize, energize, activate, advocate, and fight for our democracy. So it's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to stand up. Are you with me? Are you with me? Then let's get to work.
Uh-oh. We heard that Robbie Road Steamer is in the building with a special message.
Folks, I'm fresh out of an ICE prison in Minneapolis. I've been arrested 3 times by ICE.
So if you take a look at the Democrats, they are weirdos. Like, why is he dressing up like a giraffe? State of the Swamp. Oh, I guess he's making fun of the Lion King video spill. They are just weirdos. I'm sorry. Where's the lipstick? I do have lipstick on. It's just not red. It's lip gloss, but it's more. What is this? I forgot the name. It's like brownish. Brownish. Listen, it's late night. This is not. This is like a non-official live stream. That's why I have it on this channel and not my main channel. Okay, so the judge said, Roger, that he's going to come up. They're weirdos. Oh, there you go. Hey.
What in the world? A giraffe?
That's the Democrats with their State of the Swamp. So while the State of the Union is going on, they're going to have their State of the Swamp, and he's up there dressed like a giraffe.
Well, that's typical Democratic
Exactly, they're
Party.
weirdos.
Stupidity and foolishness.
They're
That's what they
weirdos.
have to do with it. It looks ridiculous.
That's I'm just like, who wants to? I don't know. Like, this is why your people lost because you're weirdos.
My people?
No, their people, the Democrats.
That's just plain obscenely stupid.
And this is so I'm gonna play it on. Let's see something. Can you hear this? You can hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that, and I'm going in on my laptop, not laptop, on my iPad. So if
It looks
anybody
good.
calls, it'll come in on the phone.
Okay. That's you know what? Your iPad camera is better than the phone. This a good camera. It's like
Mm.
clear, even though you're further away, but it's clear.
It's a wider angle.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so Maxine Waters, so far I think it's 72 to 80 Democrats saying they're not going to attend this.
Oh, they're just bad-mannered, boorish idiots. They're like either the spoiled brats that didn't listen to Emily Post, or they're just crude and unsophisticated bumpkins, which is what it probably is.
Yeah. That's I'm just like, I want to know what he's going to
What
say.
is this right here?
Oh, this is the White House. So the White House been live, so they're just been playing like messages and stuff.
Everest, never mind. My name is Megan Hemhauser.
My name is Marcus Coleman, father of Delilah Coleman.
My name is
So it's just promos. Do you want to hear it?
No, I don't.
Okay. So because their start at 9:00. So let me just take it to this view instead. So once
Let me try this. I want to improve this shot.
Hey, Hella Mel. Yes, because usually you do your X space, but I figure you might as well just stream it live. The State of the Union.
Yeah.
It's like an unofficial live tonight. What is this? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is on the other channel. This is not even the main channel. It's not even the main channel.
When's it supposed to start?
In 2 minutes. Let me see what the other channels are showing. Because the White House channel, they start when he comes out. So this is Fox News here. Let me see. Let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear that? Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess these why are they clapping? I don't know who they're supposed to be clapping for.
Georgia election board has meltdown. Accusations seem to be substantiated about blocking 2020 investigation. Georgia election board chairman sharply critiqued and questioned. What is that?
Oh, that's the cabinet coming in now.
What are they upset about? That we are saying there should be a controlled border? They're upset about that? That there should be public peace, dignity, and order in the streets? They're upset about that? That they're cracking down on mass violations of immigration, and that's supposed to be bad? That they're trying to deal with reversing the flow of material goods so that we get some benefit out of it. They're upset because they're trying to deal with reversing the long range trends and getting Americans employed again and building up the American fundamental industries that need to be rebuilt after being torn down and transported overseas. They're upset about that. Oh my goodness. And they boycott it and they don't have any solutions to it. Oh, that's nice. Really.
So did you hear the NAACP declares Black America under attack in Trump's second term?
Oh, hell. Handkerchief head little house Negroes running the NAACP. It's sweetened up into being the rainbow cult thing. And by the way, Tennessee introduced a bill, and the Democrats in the local paper are all upset, that says it will be against the law for schools to display the rainbow emblem, for it to be displayed in public buildings, or office spaces for governmental business. In other words, if they can't display, they may have gotten that from me. If you can't display crucifix or any other symbol of theology, you can't display the rainbow one. And they also have a bill that got through the House, going to the Senate, that says it's okay for the government to follow the Supreme Court edict, which only applied, by the way, to official action, but individuals and businesses do not have to recognize gay marriage and all that kind of stuff. So they are upset about that.
They're always upset about a lot of things. I
They
wanted to
caused most of the mess too.
so Fox News is only playing it from the door, and I want to get the full view. Let's see, what is this? Let's go here. Okay. Is this? Oh, they're back at the damn door again. Oh no, this is the cabinet coming in. Okay.
What are you expecting tonight? Is 2 hours really in the realm of possibility? How ready should people be?
Get your popcorn and get ready here. No, we do expect President Trump, who loves that call and response and that dynamic, to really relish this moment, and it may go on for a while. I think that's a safe bet. But Tony, in terms of what to expect, we know from our CBS polling that 61% of Americans disapprove of how this president is handling the economy.
That's not true.
Tonight, he's going to try to convince
true.
them that what they're feeling isn't reality, that they should instead be looking at that stock market boom, that we are instead going to be looking at an inflation rate that he will be correctly able to say has ticked down since he has taken office. But they aren't seeing their wages keep up with what they're spending.
Yeah,
We
that's
saw the
because
chairman
it
Joint
hasn't
Chiefs just a
caught
few
up
moments
yet.
ago.
Some people are saying, hey, we got a good thing going. We've got inflation going down, and we've got wages that are unrealistic to the marketplace. So let's keep them where they are so we can make some profit to make up for the losses we took for the 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration. But they won't report it that way.
Right. And this is Fox News here. And then, but I'm paying back to the White House once. I guess I noticed the White House channel on YouTube goes live when Trump is about to come out. You know what? Y'all don't need to see all that other pre stuff. Just need to see him when
They know when he's coming out. They're there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what this is? This is like youthful rebellion that got spread as an admirable thing for 50 years, but for the wrong reasons. Just to rebel against authority with nothing offered. Rebel without a cause stuff way back 1952, 53. So it's kind of strange. They want to rebel, but they don't have any order. They don't have any coherence. They don't have a plan. So it's kind of strange what they do.
Yeah, but my thing is, what would this country be like if Kamala Harris would have won? Like, it would have been all types of freaky stuff. We just see the man dressed as a giraffe, and now
That's supposed to be acceptable to the public as representation of a political party. They want to put on a spoof. Well, if you want to be spoofing it, be dignified and come out with some coherent plans that we can hear. Besides, all we need to do is go rainbow and everything will be fine with me, with them.
yeah, and that's what I'm just saying. And it's just like, so Mandandi and AOC urge Spanish language push for New York City free pre-K enrollment. And my thing is, we don't have a second language. We only have one language here, and that's English.
Yeah, and people, too many aren't being taught English properly anyway, and they can't use it. If you say something like magnificent, oh my God, a huge big word. How did you find it? What does magnificent mean?
Right. And it's like, why Spanish? Because what's a lot of Spanish speaking people in Manhattan in the five boroughs? Well, they need to learn English.
The parlo italiano. Ja, está bene. How about that one? Sprachen Sie Deutsch? Ja? Das ist wunderbar. Ja, Frau? How about we speak German or Italian? Parlez-vous français, mademoiselle? Eh bien. How about
Right.
French? You know, the Spanish, hate to say it, but they lost their colonies and they had the world's empire and the Brits took it from them. So
Came in
now,
already?
now, you,
He's in there already?
yeah, he's walking in. What do they speak when you're an air traffic controller in China or Japan or Africa or flying over France or Germany? Sprachen Sie Anglais, eh?
Oh, there. Okay, here it is. Can you hear that?
No, I don't hear applause now.
Oh, wait. Now I gotta go back and save it. You can't even quit. So let me White House. Sorry. Let me do it this way.
This wide angle camera is really weird.
Okay, so this is him coming in. I don't like the sound on the White House channel. Let me see something.
Well, they told us how badly he was going to get whipped in the 2024 election cycle. That didn't seem to be right because guess what? It looked like their polls were off.
I'm going to Fox. This audio here sucks on the White House channel.
Tired of dragging space heaters around in winter.
Huh?
I don't like Fox commentary anymore. Instead of covering news, too many of them editorialize instead of just here it is.
I think that's how it is across the board now.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be. It wasn't like this before. Well, back when. That is a general, 4 stars, full gentleman. Interesting.
You can hear it, right?
They're applauding. It ought to be a safe place to give a speech in the congressional chambers unless somebody's letting security down. I like him. He's a man, not a buffoon or a sissy, like we've had too much of.
But there are a lot of Democrats there, they're good person Democrats.
Vaccine wastewater ought to get rid of all of the hypodermic needles all over the sidewalk in her district. Clean the place up so it looks sanitary.
Let me go back to this one.
That's quiet. I don't hear anything there.
You don't hear nothing? Wait a
Hear
minute.
you.
All right, let me do it again. 'Cause their thing is low. You hear that? You hear it?
I hear it now.
Why do you think so damn low? This is the White House channel too, so I don't know.
I turned it up. I can hear it better.
Why? What is going on with this thing here? Like, why is it not coming in loud here? It sounds funny.
Sounds like it's
Vice
muffled.
President Vance,
Oh, here we go.
First Lady of
Oh.
the United States.
That son of his is tall, boy.
No.
Second Lady of the United States.
That was nice of him.
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America. When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages. And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure. Thank you. Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before, and our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked, and America is respected again perhaps like never before. After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States. But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country. The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
It's pretty good.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline. Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem while at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that, 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest. As thousands of new businesses are forming and factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America. We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps. And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong. Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in. Go ahead.
he invited the women hockey team because they want to go, but they declined.
Yeah, I know, but you know what's interesting? The Democrats effed up. You know how? Because there's none of them in there to be seated looking still, surly, and sullen. And everybody's cheering. So it looks like, wow, he's got both sides going. Are gonna have to go in to clarify that. See, because you saw what the Republicans were doing. They moved out all over the House instead of
Right.
staying on one side of the aisle. Brilliant move.
Exactly.
Women who will soon be coming to the White House.
You just said that about the
Okay,
women's.
so yeah, because they said they had a busy schedule, but some people online were saying they was throwing shade, but they weren't.
But see, it looks like everybody's applauding. You don't see anybody seated and surly and sullen,
Right.
you know. So that was a dumb move for them to boycott that. Their
It
rudeness
was.
is backfiring on them.
They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
Yeah, that goalkeeper, oh my God, he saved that action.
He's working it too, isn't he?
He better, yeah.
Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off, do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
I think that's a bit too much, though.
He must have done a hell of a save to keep the game going.
Yes, he did. Listen, I'm not a hockey watcher, but I love hockey now. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't got gold. Canada would have whooped their ass. Yeah. But I still think the Medal of Freedom, I think, is too much.
You know, hockey is based on soccer.
Okay.
One of them, I said,
the field is just smaller, but the way they play it is the same.
hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much. I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country. And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news. So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday. So, Buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas, one of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety. People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate. And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you. And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down. and take care of the service, military aid. Thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans. All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And we also made interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America. Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half. Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name it. I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children. They're great people. You know, I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school, and I made computers, and I'd sell them to people, and I just kept selling and selling and selling, and Pretty amazing story. That's called the American Dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that, but I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad. So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to trumpaccounts.gov, trumpaccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful country-saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace-protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time-tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love. Right? Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first. I love America. For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, It reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly use the word affordability, a word they just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem. They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward. The price of eggs is down 60%, Madam Secretary. Thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it. It's like another big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies,
he is
not for the
cooking
people.
their ass, too.
With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a much lower cost.
Yeah, because you're creating competition. That's good.
In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened, and now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before. Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action, but I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price. So in my first year of the second term, should be my third term, but strange things happen. I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way. And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big, Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase, but a few weeks ago, she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500. A reduction of much more, actually, than $3,500. Catherine, we are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom. So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing, I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community, and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you, and could be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is homeownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston.
Something about
she
that
placed
for the
bids
last
on 20
10
homes.
years. That's great.
Gigantic
What he just talked
firms
about.
that
The
bypassed
utility
inspection
thing?
and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes. And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Rachel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon. We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
No more rich Nancy Pelosi's ripping off the public and talking smack. Love it.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it.
No,
Pass the Stop
He is
Insider
roasting
Trading
their
Act
behinds.
without delay.
And meanwhile, they've got a damn fool and a giraffe bouncing
I
around
wasn't
looking
sure
like
if
an
anybody,
idiot.
even on this side, was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed.
This is
Thank you.
brilliant.
I'm very impressed.
I've heard about
But when it
50
comes to the corruption that is
State of the
plund-
Union
really,
speeches. This is one of the
plundering
best.
America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although
Indictments, yes,
started 4
yes,
months
yes.
ago, I am
Love it.
officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance.
Whoa, whoa, oh. Business for my criminal defense colleagues, yes. Love it. Ah.
He'll get it done. Find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that
He
there are
says Somali
large parts of
pirates.
the world where corruption and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah. Delilah Coleman was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up. Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens. And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came
You
into
can
our
see some of
country.
the
How we allowed
Democrats
this to
sitting down
happen with
looking
our open
surly and
borders.
sullen.
These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Elizabeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them.
That's deep. An unnecessary tragedy.
Thank you very much.
Manifested and
Kathleen.
engineered by some jerks.
We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it
this room.
all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you. As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice, we'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislature to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. Isn't
Brilliant.
that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Listen, can you hear me?
Oh, he is kicking butt.
Yeah,
I
you
have
know, you know
not
that's
seen
a black
anybody
woman
whip
bathroom,
like this
huh?
in years.
That's a
I
black
think the
woman
last
bathroom.
time I saw this done was LBJ did it in 1966.
And perhaps
This is-
most importantly,
this is brilliant.
I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
Right.
This is good stuff.
Stop
He isn't
illegal aliens
stuttering
and
roaming
others
like he usually does.
who are
Look, he's not
unpermitted
even
persons
using the
from voting
teleprompter.
in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%.
This is brilliant. I haven't heard one like this since LBJ in 1966.
And even the new
This
communist
is
mayor of
great
New York
stuff.
City, I think he's a nice guy,
66.
actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no.
Whoa, yes.
Good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
They want this 2 ID to shovel snow and get paid, but not to vote. That is ridiculous. These folks sitting there, hyena asses down there,
Why would anybody
betraying
not
the
want voter
republic.
ID? One reason,
For their own
because they
little
want to
BS
cheat. There's
reasons.
only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things you almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated, and their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John.
Ooh wee, wow wee, whoopee.
And here is
Love
one
it.
more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
Ain't that a shame? These low-down bastards ought to be beaten, rode out of town on a rail, tarred and feathered for that garbage.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
Ooh, he is whipping hard. No stuttering. He is not repeating himself.
These people are crazy. I'm telling you. They're crazy.
Oh, say it.
Oh,
Say it. Say it. Yes.
He's getting them upset so that he can help you some more.
Yes, he's kicking ass. Yes. It's better than a football game.
We're lucky we have a country with people like this. Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
Whoa, yes. Rainbow bullshit. Go, Prez.
No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the past year, she has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot.
Go ahead, Madam Trump.
Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight, we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact. Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont.
This whole
Thank
thing.
you both, and Melania,
no
thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much.
This is great. This is brilliant. Go head on. This is oratory supreme. This is as good as Bill Clinton, who was the best orator we have had in the president's office for a long time.
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal. This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man. So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand. Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind. We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zaretska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget, there were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zaretska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina.
That's a shame. Those low-down bastards are continuously pushing death, theft, and other destruction in terms of, rather than dealing with doing what they're supposed to do.
How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there.
You ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success.
Whoa!
New Orleans, Louisiana, big success. And our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen?
I can attest that they have done.
In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago.
I was born in D.C. I'm glad to hear that.
I don't like to hear that. One of sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation, she was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Evalie. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like it. So sorry. Thank you very much. A great young lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night, and she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone, but his mother said, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying, and after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melody? She turned out to be right. Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about
Judge,
the
you're
edge
muted. I
of
can't
death.
hear you.
On his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's
Reagan
doing
invented
great.
this kind of thing.
Nice to see
but
he's a good-looking guy.
perfected it. He's
Nice
doing
to
it
see
better
you.
than Reagan.
Thanks, Andrew.
Bringing up
Thank you
these
very much.
exemplars from the audience. Supposed to be dead, but he's standing up smiling and acting normal. Dang.
So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
Outstanding. You get an award by a four-star general. That is one hell of an accolade.
We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. My first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people. Cambodia and Thailand. Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank
And the teleprompter
Steve
is
Witkoff
over on
and
the
Jared
other side.
Kushner
He's
for
not even
your help.
looking at
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared.
Great stuff.
And I also want to thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
Yeah, he does a good job.
This is brilliant. He hasn't stuttered one time. He hasn't paused. Look at this.
People like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
Rubio.
Under the ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that?
Excuse my bad language. He has kicked some ass in contrast to these punk-ass fools that the
Nobody thought it was possible.
have put in place.
Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. It was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back. But we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead, of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug, and they dug, and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up
Hamas to go along with that
100 bodies
brilliant
sometimes for
and
each one that they
exercise
found.
of power
Tough job.
politics.
And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The
Yes,
mother
first
said,
stutter.
"Sir, we have our boy back."
Right there.
What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job.
I was the first stutter in the whole presentation. Right there.
And we're working very hard to end the ninth war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000
See what it says about the
soldiers are
teleprompter?
dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president, would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate.
Said Trump made a big
confront
deal
threats
about
to
the
America
teleprompter in his first term, so
wherever
he
we
was
must.
setting this narrative
That's
up.
why in a
Yeah.
breakthrough operation last year,
He's not
the
using
United
one.
States military
This is fun.
obliterated
They talk
Iran's
about
nuclear
something's wrong
weapons
with his
program with an
mind.
attack on
No
Iranian
way.
soil known as Operation Midnight
I think
Hammer.
at best, he probably had bullet points, which is different from reading a speech.
Yes, look at this. It's brilliant. He hasn't stuttered, repeated himself, misstepped except once, and that was just a minor
For decades, it had been the policy of the
can't do
United
this.
States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation
These fools
47
wanna know
years
about
ago,
something's
the
wrong
regime
with
and
his
its
mind? Oh,
murderous
hell
proxies
no.
have
Look
spread
at this.
nothing
This
but
is
terrorism
brilliant.
and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb. And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests, 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence, but this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue. They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference
Whoa.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
That's deep, considering the diplomatic things and the international situation. That's some deep stuff.
And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong, because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called peace through strength, and it's been very, very effective. So thanks to Republicans in Congress, we're investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces.
That's his second
Also
mistake
creating
he
a lot of
left out
jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed, at my very strong request, to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2.
Brilliant. Sit your dumb jackasses down on the ground and in your seat. Stand
and
up,
getting that
assholes,
5%
for
was
what's
something
the
which
right
everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently. And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of $1,776. You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute, for one more dollar, we can have $1,776. It's going to I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar, I said $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was 4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it, so we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen. We're also...
Oh, get your tired jackasses up off your seats for the firemen. That's neutral.
We're also restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
What happened? You came back to that.
And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that. We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January,
you there?
Yeah, but I
in
can't see you.
January, elite
It
American
says,
warriors
"Oops,
carried out one of the most
connection was
complex,
lost.
spectacular
Reconnect."
feats of military
I can't see
competence
you, though.
and power
Can you see
in
me?
world history.
No,
No one's
I
seen
can just
anything
hear
like
you.
it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who called me.
You're
and they
not
said,
moving.
"Very
You're fixed. I can
impressive,
hear you,
very
but you're
impressive."
not moving. I can hear the
They
speech.
couldn't believe. They all watched. They saw
Go
what
out and come
happened.
back in and see if it's better.
This is
I
a
hear the
different
audio. I want to
fighting
hear
force that
this.
we
I
had
can hear
years
the
ago
audio,
when
but I
we
can't
fought
see
to
the
tie.
visual.
No, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it.
I
Look
want
at
to hear this.
Space Force. Space Force is my baby because we did that. My baby. It's becoming so
Yes.
important.
With the new uniforms.
And America's armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice. And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
You back on?
Yeah, I can see you now. You can hear me?
Yeah. This is brilliant. This is just orchestrated, set up. This is just absolute masterpiece when it comes to doing what you need to do for media. I mean, this doesn't get any better.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique.
They won't stand for anything but stand for illegal.
There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro.
He said
Really great heroes.
Transformers.
It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter, a big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good?
You know when you get on me.
While
I talk
preparing
like
to
this.
land, enemy machine guns
like
fired
it.
from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine gun stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash
This
deep
is
in enemy
understatement
territory.
of the reality.
Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission. We probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets and keep on flying and landing and People knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but
He's reading a
I'm
prompt
thrilled to
now.
say that he is here tonight with his wife, Amy,
Well,
Eric,
that's still okay.
and Amy.
He
Come
who
on
wrote-
in.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
I can't remember everything. Because that's how he tells the story to introduce the people that's there.
Where is the prompter? See, the prompter is over here in front of the gentleman to his right, to the left of the
Yeah,
screen.
it's right in front of him. Yeah.
See, it's over
Like,
to the left.
right.
It's over to his right. He's walking toward it right now. He's standing right behind it. Yeah, I appreciate this. I have family that was in the U.S. Cavalry on the frontier in with the trenches in World War I, at Bastogne in World War II, not in Korea, but in Vietnam and currently. So, yeah, I appreciate this stuff.
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor. Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House, and Eric will be there. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952, Royce was in the dogfight of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew.
He was outside.
But tonight, at
permitted
100
borders.
years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
It was unreported because it was over the border and into China. It was a hell of a fight.
Thank you, Royce, and thank you, Eric. I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday. But you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you. Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel, and then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Yeah.
It was exactly 2 hours.
That was great. I've never been moved by a speech, State of the Union speech before. This was great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This dude kicked ass. He hit a home run with the bases loaded, threw a 90-yard touchdown pass, did a 3-point after touchdown conversion. I mean, this is great stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think he did very well. It was great. And he really, because there's always somewhat of a theme, and it seemed like he took this year to honor patriots. Military, handing out the medals and everything, and of course, dig in the Democrats' ass, shame them, which they need to be shamed. So yeah, somebody says best
How
speech.
could they fail not to stand up for this heroism?
I think
That's the
didn't they
thing.
stand up for him? I think they did. They did
They
stand up.
did. They had to. And
Yeah,
see, Nancy Pelosi and her lame, crooked, thieving, criminal ass, Maxine Waters, and the whole bunch of this thieving bunch of scoundrels that's tried to undo this country and jeopardize the citizenry to depredations of crookedness and wrongfulness.
right.
They missed out. And what did they have? A stupid looking son of a bitch in a giraffe suit.
Yeah.
God damn. That is really expressive of the situation. Death and theft on the streets.
And the
No
thing
law and
is,
order, and you put up a giraffe costume idiot to
but
express
this is
your
his
party.
first. This is his first State of the Union. He has what 3 more to go.
Second.
Well, last year was State of to Congress. I'm
Yeah,
talking
well,
about
in other words, it's in the Constitution. It requires that the chief executive present a statement to Congress
right,
as
but I'm talking
to
about the official State of the Union. This was his first.
no, it's second
When was the first one?
last year.
I
It's
thought
in
that
a
was
it's
the
a
I thought,
date set forth in the Constitution of the United States. He has to give it. So this is
but
the
it wasn't
second
called
one.
that last year. It was
Yeah,
called
no, it is. It's not called the State of the Union
right.
in the Constitution, but it is a requirement that the president give a statement to Congress about
Right. So right.
what's
So
going on and
it's
what
a
needed
total right.
legislation.
It's a total of 4. But when I'm just
No,
going by
it's actually, see what happens is it's a date set, so he gets elected, sworn in.
no, that's what I'm saying. 4 years, that's
So
4.
he's given one.
Right.
This
So
is the
this
second.
is the second one. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is
So the what would be number 4 is you just
his
did was a
last year.
date would not he doesn't get 5, but when it would be 4 nominally the way most
That will
people
his
keep.
it'll be number 4 would be his last year in office.
No, what I'm saying is nominally the way it is that number 5 will be whoever takes over after him. That the number In other
What
words,
are you
four
talking
from
about?
the point, 4 full years after he gets elected will be whoever takes over after him will
Yeah,
be the
because that's a
first
new
year.
administration. So it started,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about per administration. You speak to Congress 4 times, once a year.
Yeah. So this is his second
This
time.
is his second, but the first one it was called state to Congress or speech to
No,
Congress.
no, no, no.
Whatever.
It's not really State of the Union. That's a
Well,
new
what's the one
term.
called last year? That's
No. What the Constitution says is each year, and it gives a designated time when it's supposed to happen, is a recitation to Congress as
it
to
was a speech to
the
Congress.
affairs of the union
I get
and
all that. I'm just
proposed
listen. I
legislation. So
get
he's
that. I
done
get
that
that. I don't
twice.
need a definition. Only thing I'm saying is the one he did last year, it was called the speech to Congress. The one he doing this year is called State of the Union. You're still talking in Congress about
Actually, they're
policies.
both the same. In other words, they're modern terms put on something that the Constitution specified. So last year and this year are the same thing. Brilliant. I've been watching these since the last one Eisenhower did in 1950. No, the last two, 58 and 59, Eisenhower did. Kennedy, Johnson. This one was absolutely brilliant. The best speaker we have had until we got to this in terms of a speech was Clinton, William Clinton. He's a great orator. But this was just absolute brilliance. He stuttered twice in all this time. And I've never heard that. And most of the so-called State of the Union addresses are boring. This one was wow. This was like you put on the boxing gloves and you knock somebody down and out multiple times. This was ass kicking. This was great stuff. And the interesting thing is the Democrats were foolish enough to boycott it. So you didn't have a whole bunch of them sitting quietly and looking surly and sullen. And he was actually humorous in what he did. He was entertaining. This was great stuff. And what did the Democrats have to offer? Some bozo looking idiot in a giraffe costume. And it was just pathetic. I mean, this was like,
Yeah.
ooh, this is like, hey man, give me the baseball bat. I'm gonna whip this dude. This is what Al Capone did up in a formal dinner when he beat somebody's brains out with a baseball bat. Of
I
course,
think
they
the
never charged
Democrat
him with it because they couldn't get a witness.
today is what is today? Tuesday? Yeah. I think
Tuesday.
the Democrats don't they do a response? Let me
They
see.
will be giving a response. We ought to tune into it. Let's see what they've got to say about it. If you
Abigail.
can
Oh,
get it,
Abigail delivers. Abigail Spamberger. She is the new governor of Virginia, the former CIA agent, is going to deliver the response.
And what is this new thing they're doing on Paramount for
Were you
they've
drinking
got the
tonight?
play that
What was
played
in that cup?
they've got the guy that played Lucifer playing the CIA agent, and there's an FBI collaboration. They have you ever told a lie? He said, what do you think the job of the CIA is but to lie?
What was in your cup tonight?
What's that?
What was you drinking?
Coffee.
Oh, so you wired.
I mean, it's a big mug. It's Star
No, I'm
Wars.
saying you're wired. If you're drinking coffee now, you wide awake. Like I'm about to take you
I'm
down
wide
after this
awake.
speech.
Let's do this. I'm
Do this, honey. I'm
inspired
about to
by
go to
this
sleep. I'm about to
speech.
take my magnesium pill and call it a night after she give her speech.
Look. I live in America. I don't care. I'm on this team. Whatever in the hell
Why
they
are you
say. I've
drinking
been done
coffee so
wrong, sat
late?
on the bench, and all this other stuff. But I like my country. This is my homeland, and I love that speech.
Why
That was
are you?
good stuff.
Why are you drinking coffee so late?
Well, because it's not that late for me. What time is it? 10:09, 10 o'clock. I've been drinking.
It's late to drink coffee.
Well, look, no, I don't drink water. I drink coffee. The coffee part basically is not as high a percentage of what you're drinking as the impurities in plain water. And plus, fish do strange stuff in the water. They screw in it and they pee in it and poop in it. So the average drop of water has been on the surface of the planet for 243 million years. So I'd rather have some that's sterilized by being boiled
I
and
think you
having
put
some
something
coffee.
else in there.
No, I didn't. I am going to when we get through, because that was great stuff. I loved it.
What you gonna put in there?
Well, a friend of mine,
Oh, wait,
Michelle
never mind.
Dukes,
There she go.
has
Wait. Let's
demand better of their government and create a nation that would be an example for the world. And this year, as we celebrate 250 years since America declared our independence from tyranny, I can think of no better place to speak to you as we reflect on the current state example for the world. We reflect on the current state world. And this year, as we celebrate 250 years since America declared our independence from tyranny, I can think of no better place to speak to you as we reflect on the current state of our union. Tonight, as we watched our nation's lawmakers gather for a joint session of Congress, we did not hear the truth from our president. So let's speak plainly and honestly. And let me ask you, the American people watching at home, 3 questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe both at home and abroad? Is the president working for you? As I campaigned for governor last year, I traveled to every corner of Virginia, and I heard the same pressing concern everywhere. Costs are too high in housing, healthcare, energy, and childcare. And I know these same conversations are being had all across this country. Because since this president took office last year, his reckless trade policies have forced American families to pay more than $1,700 each in tariff costs. Small businesses have suffered, farmers have suffered, some losing entire markets. Everyday Americans are paying the price. And even though the Supreme Court struck these tariffs down 4 days ago, the damage to us, the American people, has already been done. Meanwhile, the president is planning for new tariffs, another massive tax hike on you and your family. And Republicans in Congress, they remain unwilling to assert their constitutional authority to stop him. They're making your life harder. They're making your life more expensive. They're even making it more difficult to see a doctor. Rural health clinics in Virginia and across the country are already closing their doors thanks to the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, championed by the president and Republicans in Congress. And tonight, the president celebrated this law, the one threatening rural hospitals, stripping health care from millions of Americans and driving up costs in energy and housing, all while cutting food programs for hungry kids. But here in Virginia, I am working with our state legislature to lower costs and make the Commonwealth more affordable.
You bitch raise taxes.
Editing
Wait
your
a minute.
podcast on Riverside is a
No one.
no-brainer, and I want to show you
while
why.
this is going
Your
on,
podcast
No, no,
transcript
no.
is here.
It was just
that's the commercial.
In the most innovative and exceptional nation in the history of the world, Americans deserve to know that their leaders are focused on addressing the problems that keep them up at night. Problems that dictate where you live, whether you can afford to start a business, or whether you have to skip a prescription in order to buy groceries. So I'll ask again, is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? We all know the answer is no. I grew up in a house of service. My mother was a nurse, and my father was a career law enforcement officer. I began my career by following in my father's footsteps as a federal agent, working money laundering and narcotics cases. I worked side by side with local and state police to keep our community safe and to uphold and enforce the law. Law enforcement officers across the country know that it is a unique responsibility to do the serious work of investigating crimes, comforting victims, and making arrests. It's about building trust, and that requires an abiding sense of duty and commitment to community. And yet, our president has sent poorly trained federal agents into our cities, where they have arrested and detained American citizens and people who aspire to be Americans. And they have done it without a warrant. They have ripped nursing mothers away from their babies. They have sent children, a little boy in a blue bunny hat, children to far-off detention centers, and they have killed American citizens in our streets. And they have done it all with their faces masked from accountability. Every minute spent sowing fear is a minute not spent investigating murders, crimes against children, or the criminals defrauding seniors of their life savings. Our president told us tonight that we are safer because these agents arrest mothers and detain children. Think about that. Our broken immigration system is something to be fixed, not an excuse for unaccountable agents to terrorize our communities. After working in law enforcement, I continued my career of service as a CIA officer, working undercover to protect the United States and our allies from global threats, terrorism, nuclear weapons, and the aggression of adversarial nations around the globe. But as the president spoke of his perceived successes tonight, he continues to cede economic power and technological strength to Russia, bow down to China, bow down to a Russian dictator, and make plans for war with Iran. Here's the truth. Over the last year, through DOJ, mass firings, and the appointment of deeply unserious people to our nation's most serious positions, our president has endangered the long and storied history of the United States of America being a force for good. So I'll ask again, is the president working to keep Americans safe, both at home and abroad? We all know the answer is no. In his speech tonight, the president did what he always does. He lied, he scapegoated, and he distracted. And he offered no real solutions to our nation's pressing challenges, so many of which he is actively making worse. He tries to divide us. He tries to enrage us, to pit us against one another, neighbor against neighbor. And sometimes he succeeds. And so you have to ask, who benefits from his rhetoric, his policies, his actions, the short list of laws he's pushed through this Republican Congress? Somebody must be benefiting. He's enriching himself, his family, his friends. The scale of the corruption is unprecedented. There's the cover-up of the Epstein files, the crypto scams, cozying up to foreign princes for airplanes and billionaires for ballrooms, putting his name and face on buildings all over our nation's capital. This is not what our founders envisioned, not by a long shot. So I'll ask again, is the president working for you? We all know the answer is no. But here's the special thing about America. On our 250th anniversary, we know better than any nation what is possible when ordinary citizens, like those who once dreamed right here in this room, reject the unacceptable and demand more of their government. We see it in the determination of students organizing school walkouts all across the country, whose voices are becoming so powerful that the governor of
Kids
Texas
fighting
seems
each
to
other.
silence them.
They
This is
We see it in the
ridiculous.
bravery of Americans
I
in
don't feel like
Minnesota
playing this. I'm about to go to
standing up
bed.
for their communities.
This is
From
ridiculous.
peacefully
Let me
protesting in
say this.
sub-zero
I know what
temperatures
my
to
IQ is.
carpooling
I will
children to
bet
school
big money,
so that
thousands
their
of
immigrant
dollars
parents
with
are not
her
ripped
that
away
it's
from
higher
them
than hers
in the
is.
parking lot.
She's a bullshit
As a
artist.
mother of 3 school-age daughters, I
And
am inspired by their
I
bravery.
don't agree with
But I
her
am sickened that it is
propositions.
necessary.
They are totally
And Americans
nonsensical.
across
They're
the country
ridiculous.
are taking
And
action. They are going to
forget
the
it.
ballot box to reject
Our
this
president
chaos. With
gave.
their votes, they are writing a
I've
new
been
story, a
listening
more hopeful story.
to
In November, I won
State
my
of the
election by
Union
15
addresses.
points.
I think I've listened to every one since 1958,
And we won
and that
13 new
was the
seats in our
best.
state legislature.
And she can't get around that. And her clown
Because
story for her
voters decided
party
they
is
wanted
some
something
idiot in
different.
a giraffe
Our
costume.
campaign earned
And
votes from
she's just
Democrats,
about as
Republicans,
bad.
independents, and everyone in
And
between.
she's not really
Because they knew
addressing
as
the
citizens
issues. She's
they
talking
could demand more,
nonsense.
that they could vote for what they believed.
And she's not talking about the issues. It's garbage. So we have a situation where we heard, let's see, 1958 to now is 65, 66, 67 years ago, almost 70 years ago.
Everything they need to know. Instructions,
And
pictures,
we
videos,
just
all
heard
on
something
one
good.
page.
What is this? Well, okay, I can still see you. This is garbage.
Democrats flip state legislative seats
And
in
it's
places like
pathetic.
Georgia,
And
Iowa,
it's
Mississippi, and
the
Texas. The list
utterances
goes on and on.
Nazi-type
Ordinary Americans
propaganda.
are
You
stepping
heard a
up to
brilliant
run in the
speech.
spirit
You
of our
heard reality, and
They
they
are
have
running
nothing
to
to
demand
counter
more
it
and to
with
do
except
more
garbage.
for their neighbors and communities. I know this story well.
Oh,
I first
quit
ran for office
smiling,
in
Heifer. You know
2018
you're lying,
alongside
and
dozens
you
of
know
other
that
Democrats
what you're
who
saying
did
is
the
not
seemingly
founded in
impossible,
reality.
flipping 41 seats in Congress. In my case, I
And
was the
that's
first
what you're
Democrat
trying to
elected
do.
in
Your little
50 years,
game is
swinging
trying
our
to
district
spread your little
17
sick
points.
theology
Those
where
who are
girls
stepping
don't know
up
what
now
being a
to
girl
run
is,
will
boys don't
win
know
in
what being a
November,
boy
because
is,
Americans,
where you
at
have
home,
families corrupted,
you can
families
demand more,
destroyed.
and that
You
we
have
are
a
working to
situation
lower
where the
costs.
gas
We
pump
are working
prices
to
are
keep our
ridiculous
communities and our country
because
safe,
you
and
are
we
getting the money
working
fed
for
into
you.
your little accounts by the people that sponsor your garbage. You are compromising
In
the
his farewell
American
address,
defense
George
situation
Washington
because
warned
of
us
your
about the
cowardice.
possibility of, quote,
You are
cunning,
absolutely
ambitious, and
deplorably
unprincipled men
disgusting.
rising to power. But he also
Oh, and
encouraged us,
quit grinning.
all
You look like a
Americans,
witch.
to unite in a common cause, to move this
By the way,
nation
I'll say
forward.
this.
That
Republican
is our
women look
charge
a
once
lot
more,
better
and
than
that
Democratic
is
women.
what we are seeing across
Democratic
the country.
Party women.
It is deeply American and patriotic to do so, and it is how we ensure
By
that
the way,
state of our
Folger's
union
instance
remains
is
strong.
some good stuff.
Not
Maybe
just this
she
year,
needs
but for the
some
next
to
250
focus.
years as well, because we, the people, have the power to make change, the power to stand up for what is right, the
First
power
person to die in the
demand more
revolution,
of our
amongst
nation.
others, that they press is
May God bless the Commonwealth of Virginia, and may God bless the United
Never mind.
States
It was
of
a
America.
black man. Oh, you look like you are one of those.
And that was
what do they call it?
Democratic Governor
From
Abigail
the
Spanberg.
Greek island of Lesbos. Anyway, go ahead.
What?
She looked
What?
like she was an occupant of the ancient Greek island of Lesbos.
You said, I thought you said lesbian.
Lesbos. That's where you get lesbian from. They'd have
That's not
females
true.
that dealt with each other. Lesbos. That's the name of the island. Still exists. It didn't go blanco from some volcanic eruption.
I think you put a tap of Hennessy in that coffee, Joe.
No, I didn't put any. I'm going to when I get through. That was a great speech.
Why?
That was just. I have been, look, honestly.
Hey, let's
I've been-
look at some of the highlights.
No, look, honestly, I've been listening to these things for 67 years. I've listened to every one since 1958 when I got in the 9th grade. And
Wait, you see Al Green was holding up a picture and the guy ripped it off.
look, I've been
You
looking
see
at these
him?
things since 1958. Eisenhower was in office. This is the best I've ever heard. It was entertaining, and I wasn't in. I'm going to listen to this because it is my duty as a citizen of the United States of America to listen to this. No, I was actually entertained. I enjoyed this. It was well done, well delivered. The oratory was excellent.
So let me read this. It says that Representative Al Green was holding a sign that reads "Black people aren't apes," and a guy
I
ripped it
think
out
he
his
is a
hand.
damn ape. He's one of those little monkeys jumping around on a little silver chain while the organ grinder is turning his organ and going, the little monkey is jumping around. I think that's him. Yeah, we're not apes. Some of us are intelligent, but some of us, unfortunately, got bred to be slaves. And it's unfortunate. Those who grew up on plantations with 200 or more slaves, they got bred. Too many of them, they think crazy. So,
Oh, he got escorted out again.
who's this?
The Representative Al Green
Oh, he's an idiot.
holding up the
My
sign.
IQ is a lot higher than his is. I know what it.
You keep talking about your damn IQ.
No, I'm just saying I haven't mentioned it, but I know what it is. It's a lot higher than his is because few humans are up there with it. And this.
Oh, okay.
was
So Ilian
brilliant.
was in the audience. No, let me read this. So she was in the audience and she shouted, "You have killed Americans," as President Trump slammed Democrats for demanding reform before funding the homeland. So this was her screaming
Excuse
at
me,
him.
you stupid
who blocked the
moron.
removal of
How about
criminal
all of the
aliens,
illegals
in many
who come in
cases
to
drug
plant
lords,
bombs, you
murderers
fool?
all over
How
our
about
country. They're blocking
Yeah,
the
you
removal of these
stupid
people
moron.
out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Talk about
Penalties
Ooh,
for
she is
public
pissed.
officials who block the
Good.
removal of criminal
Jesus.
aliens. In many cases, drug
Jesus,
lords, murderers all over our
unpatriotic,
country. They're blocking
cowardly
the removal
threat
of these
to our
people
security.
out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country. They're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Penalties for public officials.
That bitch was
Yes.
mad.
Ilian is an idiot.
She's mad, honey. Let's
She should
see.
be mad because she has been deficient. Look at this. 1, 2, 3.
Let's see. Abigail. Okay.
Judge Joe Brown. I sell barbecue sauce. These foods should be put on a spit, roasted slowly, and basted with my barbecue sauce.
So the Democrats refused to stand when Trump said that the duty of American government was to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
You see it. You see it. You see it. That's the essence. I mean, what do I say? How long have I said it?
None of us
Truth.
can.
What have I said? Truth has no face but truth itself. And that is a true statement of what our government is supposed to be about. In other words, look, let me be candid about this. Excuse my language, but you got your ass whipped. You got your butt kicked. They gave you a beatdown.
Let's see what he says.
Look at it. Look at it. Sorry ass son of a bitch. Get up on your feet.
That's the guy that was telling people, the military congressman, and he was telling people to fight back against ICE, and then they wanted to revoke his court martial him. That was him sitting there.
Yeah, that's a stupid son of a bitch who is an unpatriotic asshole who has nothing to offer this country except promotion of a certain theology that is anti-normal.
Let's see.
And look at this heifer. Look how ugly her behind is. She's blonde, but I bet she doesn't have more fun. And she's running for governor.
She's
And how
already
many
governor. She
women
was elected.
older than her look
Judge.
better than her than a
Judge.
Republican?
She was already elected. She was elected governor, and she raised the taxes already.
In what area?
In Virginia. She's the governor
Well,
of Virginia.
Virginia's full of shit now.
And she raised
Virginia
her
ain't worth
taxes.
a goddamn except it's a backwoods area of the United States. It is a third world state. I guess not third world country, third world state. It's pathetic. Republican women look a lot better than Democratic women. Look at you. You support the Republican thing. Look at the typical female on the other side.
Okay, so so it says here, Speaker Johnson eviscerates the Democrats for pathetically hosting 5 counter events to boycott President Trump's State of the Union tonight.
I love it.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Shut down the government and protest everything from the president's joint address to basic immigration enforcement. And they obstruct any meaningful progress for the sake of obstruction. It's the same tired playbook that they've run for a decade now. It's shameful that they would boycott an address. We don't do that. Republicans don't do that. It doesn't matter if there's a president from the opposing party. We don't skip out. Our constituents want and need us to be here. Every member of this House represents over 750,000 people. They're disenfranchised if you're not sitting in the seat to be a part of the role and the responsibility of Congress. I think it's shameful. Republicans have a far simpler and far superior message for Americans watching at home. We're putting more money back in your pockets. We're restoring peace through strength. We're defending our border and deporting criminal illegal aliens. We're standing up for American industry and manufacturing. And we're making American workers, not foreign countries, the clear winners in this American economy. Those are not talking points. That is what we have delivered. It's called Republican results, and we are proud to run on that message in this fateful midterm election year. So tonight, President Trump will demonstrate that
Okay.
Okay, 1851, the Republican Party was chartered to end slavery and destroy its harmful effects on American society. 1820 something, the Democratic Party was chartered to spread and enhance slavery. They started the Civil War. They had Reconstruction. They dealt with Jim Crow. and they opposed the ending of segregation. And this heifer over here with her dumb behind has become, through her husband, wealthy through insider trading. And by the way, the Republicans have introduced an act to make that illegal.
I like
And
what
she's violently opposed to it.
Patrick Bet Davis said. Well, he put a quote of Marcus Aurelius says the best way to upset your enemies is to remain calm.
You know who Marcus Aurelius is?
Yes.
One of the best Roman emperors. In Gladiator, that is the emperor that is in the background, Marcus Aurelius, a brilliant
And
man.
this is not calm. So it's like, yeah, that's why they keep losing.
And how old is she?
Probably in her 40s. I don't know.
No, she's not. She's in her early 30s. She got
Are you
elected
sure?
at
Let me see.
26. She got elected at 26.
You talking about AOC?
Isn't
She's
that who
40.
we're looking at?
No, that's Ileana Omar. She's
How old
43.
is she? Oh, she got let in. See what America can do when you let
Got
folks
let in.
come in, let in. She can't be president, but she can be in Congress. And she's a damn fool for trying to destroy what allowed her to be where she is and do what she does.
Right.
It's collateral consequences. It's like driving 65 on a freeway. The slightest inattention can lead to disaster, death, mutilation, pain, and suffering. But we suffer those collateral consequences because we say that there is value to this automotive transportation that allows us to get from point A to point B quickly.
Well, let's see what the
Well, there are
black people are doing.
consequences to being in America, and she wants to get rid of them and deal with this fascist stuff, which is probably what was going on where she came from.
So let's see what Roland Martin. He's live.
Roly-poly asshole. Anyway, he's an arrogant, stupid. I've met him personally. He's arrogant and stupid.
So he held the state of our union. I guess he was one of the
Roly-poly Martin is an idiot. He's an arrogant idiot who speaks way beyond what he's about. I've met him several times. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I remember when.
Okay, so Joy Reid hosted a party. Oh God.
You notice they don't invite me. They're low intelligent folk who just marginally got through college.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see who else is live before I get up out of here. Oh, that's Patrick. That's Newsweek.
Hold on, I need some more.
What was this? Wait, let's see this. Let's see this idiot here.
Mutual aid networks demanding that ICE gets out.
Can you hear? You can hear her?
I hear.
Penny.
Demanding
I
that
believe
ICE
the American people deserves leaders who are as brave as they are, who will wake up every morning ready to fight like hell. This year, we can flip Congress against Trump and against this rigged status quo, but we can't do it by electing more of the same. The Democratic Party is at a crossroads. On one side are millions of working people demanding bold action, lower costs, higher wages, Medicare for all. On the other side are corporate donors and consultants who are terrified of upsetting the very interests that rigged this economy in the first place. That tension shows up in watered down bills and speeches that sound bold but govern small. You can't promise relief while protecting corporations driving up the prices. You can't stand with labor while taking checks from the union-busting CEOs. And you cannot defeat MAGA while keeping billionaires comfortable. In other words, you can't serve two masters. That's why the Working Families Party exists, to help us bring bolder people into government who better reflect the vision of working people. Look at Congresswoman Delia Ramirez, a daughter of Guatemalan immigrants in Chicago who expanded Medicaid, built affordable housing, and protected people from eviction as a state legislator before bringing that same fight to Congress. Or Congresswoman Latifah Simon, who worked for more than 30 years helping survivors of violence and trafficking. Now she's here in Congress to push for affordable housing and transit that connects people and that helps them get to work, and for an economy that doesn't treat Black and brown communities as disposable. Look at New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, who took on Andrew Cuomo and his corporate backers and won. He led a movement of renters, young people, and working families who had been told their voices did not matter. He proved that when you show up, when you speak clearly about how to meet people's basic needs, the people respond. And now look at New Jersey's newest Democratic nominee, Anna Lilia Mejia. She started her race at 5%. She was outspent 10-1, and she still won because she outworked party bosses and billionaires. And as a former director of the New Jersey Working Families Party, she had a record of delivering, raising the minimum wage.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys.
Well, it just sounds like a slave on a
Impossible.
plantation who has been totally integrated into the whole system. They like the master.
Few causing all this harm. And that's why I introduced a bill to abolish the super PACs they use to control our country.
It sounds like a good
Wait a minute,
mammy
Democrats, they take money from super PACs. So what is she
Yeah, I
talking
know.
about?
I know. She sounds like a good bed witch who has become a nice mammy, and it's good. So, I mean, it's what you expect. I mean, good gracious.
What did you put in that coffee?
I didn't. I'm going to.
You ain't going to tell me. You
Look,
ain't going to tell me
Michelle
the truth.
Dukes, a good friend of mine, makes a damn good bourbon. I'm going to have myself a
I,
shot.
you know what?
I really love that State of the Union. That's the first
You know
one
what? I
in
don't
all
like.
these years that I've really liked rather than just endured.
Listen, I don't like brown liquor, but I do like bourbon. That's my favorite.
Look, Michelle Dukes, she is a good friend of mine. She is one of the few women in the United States of America that owns a distillery. And she makes a bourbon based on something her daddy did, granddaddy did back in Mississippi, who used to run moonshine. The whiskey was called Poppy. She ran into somebody that came up recently and they went through a lawsuit. So she agreed to settle it and come up with a new name. But the stuff was called Poppies. It's great bourbon whiskey.
So somebody said in the chat, asked the judge, did he see the New York City snowball fight? So these are people throwing. So it says 2 NYPD officers show up at a massive snowball fight in Washington Square Park, only to get destroyed by snowballs. So they're throwing
You
snowballs at.
can't hurt anybody with a snowball. Hell.
I know, but my thing is, why are you throwing it at the cop? Like,
Yeah, you ought to be dealing with the
throw it at
people
each
that are
other and
planning.
have fun. Why you focus on the cops and
Yeah,
not each
have
other?
fun and worry about the people that are planting the explosives that are going to make 911 when the Twin Towers came down look like
They throwing that's some dirty snow out there
react.
too. I don't want that dirty New
It's
York wet
filthy. You
snow.
see all the dog crap that's left on the sidewalks because
Right.
Donnie has been taking care
And
of
they
it.
didn't clean
When
it
the
up. So
snow
now the
melted,
fresh snow,
yeah.
the fresh snow is on top of the old dog shit.
Well, you said it, my dear. I didn't say it. I was being polite. Wasn't that
Oh.
nice of me? Usually I'm not so polite.
But my thing is why I don't know. I don't know. Why are you playing with the
I
cops?
don't
But I
like
guess
this
the cops don't
camera
mind.
angle. Excuse me. It's making my middle look
What's wrong with
bad.
the
It's a
camera
wide
angle?
angle camera. And wow. Let me look at this. Okay. I don't like this. I think I'll go back to the old cell phone rather than the iPad.
Mm.
Anyway, I really,
How many
I've been
times you gonna
looking
say
at,
that?
I'm looking at these things since 1958. And this is the first one I really enjoyed listening to, State of the Union. I mean, it was brilliant. It was entertaining. And I loved it because it was kicking ass. Trump
Mhm.
kicked ass. He beat the crap out of the Democrats with that. And
So
what did
I
they
want to
have to
ask
offer?
you.
A stupid idiot in a giraffe costume and a moron who ran on a BS campaign to get elected.
So what do you think about Nancy Guthrie? They ain't find that old woman yet. You think she's dead?
She may be, I don't know. See, I don't get this kind of reaction a lot of people did because my business for the last half century was dealing with dead folk, murdered victims, either defending somebody or prosecuting somebody for this, or adjudicating the results of investigations into somebody being dead.
Yeah, but
It's
the thing is, I
kind
do.
of gallows
They don't have any
situation.
suspects. They don't have any clues where she might be. I think the family's in on it or something.
I don't know. You'd be surprised. Juries come back with anywhere from it was a great case to the victim deserved killing.
Mm. Well, I think that's it, Judge. I think you covered everything.
I mean, I'm kind of flabbergasted. And since 1958, this is the first one I've actually enjoyed when it comes to State of the Union. I have watched every single one of them since 1958. This
How
was
old were you
brilliant.
in 1958? Uh-huh.
Going into junior high school, going into middle school.
Oh, you was watching that young?
In middle school, we had to do reports on it. See, that's the difference between then and now. We were expected to keep up on things that were influencing what happened to the nation. So going into the 9th grade, yeah, I had to look at it.
Oh. Um.
So since in 9th grade in a lot of states would be high school, freshmen. So for 9th grade in California was middle school, junior high school. So that was my last year going into that. And I would just say, since we had to do a social studies report on that,
Mm-hmm.
and I certainly did one when a lot of my teachers were switching Democrat in 1960, when Nixon and Kennedy did their thing, and I thought Nixon actually won the debate, which I had to do a report on, which I got an A+ on. That's the best I've ever heard. And it was brilliant. And I think he
Did you
uttered
see or
twice.
did you see or hear about Candace Owens' new series that she's doing on Charlie Kirk's wife now, calling it
Well,
The
let
Bride of
me say
Charlie?
this. I know Candace Owens personally. She lives up in Nashville. She's got a beautiful home. She's married to Mr. Farmer, who is the CEO for a large corporation. Her father-in-law is an
You don't wanna
earl
we don't
in
need the
England.
bio. I
No,
wanna
I'm
play
not
this
going
video.
off on that, but I've heard
Let
it.
me just play this video real
No, no,
quick.
no.
Erica Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
It's weird to say excited. Describes her husband's funeral as the event of the century. Merch, hats.
We have 50,000 plus hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper.
calling it the Bride of Charlie. Oh my
Let
God.
me say this. The father-in-law for Candace Owens controls MI6. MI6 is James Bond. All you James Bond fans need to be
All
Candace
right, I'm about to
Owens
go to
has
bed.
Candace Owens has the inside track to the real James Bond folk. So
All right.
there you go.
All right. So this was fun. Thank you, Judge. Appreciate you. I need to let this dog go.
Now I'm going to
Have
partake
me another
Michelle
cocktail.
Dukes. Michelle Dukes, I'm going to take some of your, I have some 6-year-old bottles here of your
You
product.
already
You
sipping
had
on
to
that.
change it. And no, I haven't actually.
I can see it
I've
in your
got,
eyes.
no. I got actually kind of, excuse me. I drink. I admit it, but not now. I'm going to. But I was actually high. I got moist eyes with some of what Trump did. It was
Oh my God.
absolutely brilliant. And I've never seen anything like it when it
Oh
comes
yeah.
to a State of the Union address. And by the way, that's per the U.S. Constitution. It's not called State of the Union, but that's what the vernacular is.
All right. All right. I need to go to
Great
bed.
stuff. And I enjoyed you. We didn't fuss tonight.
No, because we focus on the theme, but
But I don't know what the devil happened to my system. I'm on my iPad and it jacked itself around. But anyway,
somebody said
great
man
stuff.
tears. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Yeah, it was good. It was very interesting.
I can't on this
We
iPad.
record
I
on
can't get
Thursday,
the.
but when we record on Thursday, you could give a quick recap.
Can I get some idea what's going on with the chatter with the
Audience?
audience? Yes.
No, they're saying, what music will Judge Joe Brown play? I don't know. Somebody
I don't
said
know.
man tears. Somebody says, why do y'all have so many weird connections? I guess he's talking about Candace. She ain't talking about issues of black people. She's talking about
She's
Candace.
talking about human issues. There are big issues that have to do with nuclear, thermonuclear explosives. And we need to
Do
get over
anybody
this.
have any questions for the judge before I get up out of here? Because
Yeah,
yeah, if
we
y'all
need to
need
get over this little black petty stuff. If somebody makes the balloon go up, we all get done.
so if y'all don't have any questions, I'm about to I'm just gonna call it a night.
Yeah, and enjoy Miss Candace Owens. This is one of our people who is
Oh,
not
somebody
like,
says, Dana, can you ask the judge about Shirley Raines? Who's that?
why would you like to learn about Shirley?
Who is that?
Yeah, what about her? I've heard the name and a little bit of familiarity, but why are we interested in that?
I have no idea. So what you're saying says, Judge Joe Brown, do you think that there's too much outside influence in American politics across parties?
Always, but that's human nature. That's Germany, France, England, Russia, China, Italy, Greece, wherever you go, everybody is trying to influence the international scene to have a good positive impact on wherever they happen to be. That's just reality.
Jay Legend says foreign born persons should not be allowed in American government.
Agreed.
And what was the most important part of the speech?
The whole thing was just the continuity, the integrity, and the consistency was great. That was the content that you should pay attention to. There was a consistency in what you heard. It was outstanding.
What kind of music would Judge Joe Brown play when he drinks? You don't
I don't
listen to
know.
music.
I don't listen to music. I
He
have
doesn't
no,
dance. He doesn't listen to music. He's
I
boring.
dance, but
Dana,
that's
what are
something
you
that
talking about tomorrow? I don't know. I may not even do a live tomorrow. Probably just upload, but I'm
Dana
not
will come up with something that you need to hear tomorrow.
sure. Y'all have any
We
more questions?
fuss, but that's kind of my daughter. So anyway,
Are you putting me in a will? That's what you're supposed to
I
do with your
don't know.
kids.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe
It
I've
says
done
here,
one, maybe I haven't. Okay.
it says Mandandi, who is trying to push through 9.5% property tax on citizens to pay for an increase in immigration funding.
You know what's going to be funny is New York is America's largest city because of what they do with high finance, business, and all of that. And this fool's trying to drive them out. So if they do say there are better horizons for us in other places, and they move, New York will be just a dead shithole
Right.
someplace in the United
So
States.
it says, Judge, what do you think of the Supreme Court's decision on tariffs? We talked about it Monday.
It's interesting. Let me explain this very quickly. What they said, and Robert's opinion specifically quotes this or says this: quotas are okay, embargoes are okay. So a tariff says we'll charge you $10 per ton, but a quota says you can only bring in 200 tons of steel from this place, and that's it. An embargo says you can't bring in any at all. Robert's opinion says the president can establish an embargo or a quota, but not a tariff. But interestingly enough, as you heard in the speech, and as per actual fact, the tariffs he has negotiated over the last several months are still to be in place. China has a very interesting one. They've agreed to more than a 50-some% tariff of their goods versus a very, very small one of American goods sent back. This is because after World War II, Europe was devastated, Asia was devastated, and under the Marshall Plan and some things that were fallout from that, we said we will wipe out our tariffs, so we will let our markets build up. But people didn't stay on top of it. So some smart entrepreneurs here said we can make a lot more money if we export our manufacturing capacity overseas, export our labor market overseas. We don't care about American people being put out of jobs. We don't care about American labor, excuse me, not labor, American industrial capacity going to hell. We want to make money. So they've made a lot of money by exporting industry and jobs abroad. And now it's long
I
past
have
the
another
time for
question.
the
I have another question.
reason for the rules exist, so we need to
All
change
right.
them. Go
Make
ahead.
sure you have short answers. Is this system particularly susceptible to outside influences?
Not
Yep.
the one Trump's talking about, the one the Democrats have. Yes, it is very susceptible. And most of the Democrats that are opposed to this are trying to hold public office to get personal wealth. That's not what you hold office for.
Somebody says Democrats saying people getting ripped off with taxes, but people will voluntarily pay what they owe and more. The Democrats are the one raising the taxes.
Yeah,
Um,
the taxes they have are horrible. Medicare, 3 years ago, I had an group insurance policy I paid less than $1,500 a year for. Now I pay with Medicare almost $15,000 a year for. Now, why is it with this kind of awkward situation? And it's been going down for the last few months under Trump. $15,000 a year versus 1,500. What
so
happened?
where
That's
can I get the
Democrats.
barbecue sauce? Go to jjbbbq.com.
You can, but we keep getting influence from people who don't like what I have to say. So it's problematical with you getting through, but you can, or you can go on Amazon and just ask for Judge Joe Brown Barbecue, and you can get
Go to
shipment
the
within 2
website,
days. Yeah.
jjbbbq.com. It says, is
Yeah,
Trump
but there are a lot
Israel's?
more products available, but you can
Yeah.
get it on Amazon at Judge Joe Brown Barbecue Sauce. Now, don't be upset if when you do that, you get Joe Brown from Joe's from Kansas City,
All
or
right. This is the last question here. Trump is Trump Israel's puppet?
no, he's
Everybody's
not.
Israel's puppet.
Israel is a proxy. What's going on is we've learned a lot about what we need to do to perfect M1 tanks, M2, M3 Bradleys, and our combat aircraft, and what happens in Israel versus what's going on around and about. It's very
All right.
vital. Israel, hold on, Egypt and Saudi Arabia are a triumvirate 1, 2, 3 in running intelligence services on behalf of the United States government. So there are reasons behind what's going on that are not apparent to most people unless you know the backstories.
All right. I'm not taking any more questions. So, um,
I don't mind.
Jaron, I know, but I'm tired, so I need to go.
Well,
Jaron
I
says,
mean, I'm
how do you
tired
feel about
too,
the
but the
great
bottom
healthcare
line
thing?
is I
I don't
know
know.
what the hell I'll have to deal with as the consequences. Go ahead.
Say good night, Judge.
Hey, be strong, be brave, be courageous. It's all about public peace, dignity, and order. And if where you live is someplace where some fools run your government, local government, and cannot stop theft and death at the gas pumps and on the streets, turn the damn asses out. Have a good week, and make sure your boss is paying for what he's supposed to be paying for. In other words, you shouldn't be listening to us while you're working.
And nobody's working at this time.
Well, some folk are. They work the late night shift.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in on X and here on YouTube. Have a good night.